how the company is structured, if a part of it is sitting in Bremen and the other one in Stuttgart, nobody cares. But for the regional programs, it's quite bound to the Bundesland. So for these startup funding programs, we have our terms. It's called a Richtlinie, a very nice German bureaucratic word. And then everybody can apply. It doesn't really matter where they come from. I know that but it has to be observed that especially if you touch a grant, for example, in Hamburg as a startup, we want to have the company sitting in Hamburg at least 6 years. So I've heard from my colleagues who are sitting on the next floor next to me say, okay, in principle they're quite open to welcome everybody, but first of all the application has to be done in German, so we are not so international there, and the startup has to commit itself to remain in Hamburg at least a couple of years, otherwise the grant needs to be paid back. So this it can happen, so we are in principle we are open for this, but the company who considers opening a business should be aware of these, let's say, formalities which are under it. So that's for grant funding for startups. And then if you go for a loan for startups or a general loan program provided through an on-lending bank to us or to KfW, which is maybe not so much in the field of innovation, but in general, of course it's a loan taken through a German bank. And so the company has to be aware that it has to pay or take the loan through a German bank, and also means that it should be in Germany most of the time.
Only just I was thinking whether you are able to provide one example which you funded recently or something. Somebody approached this one, so how it happened, so that it will be easy for us to understand how it works.
Okay, so for example, if we talk about startup funding for grants, that's oriented towards innovation. So for example, we have a researcher from university who has developed a quite good technology in whatever field and wants to create business with this innovation. And then they come to us and say, I've got this idea, I want to found a company and I need some funding for the 2 first years. And then they send us a pitch, we have a look at the pitch, and then comes a committee at the end. If we say, yeah, that's available or that's eligible for our program, then there's a committee sitting 3-4 times a year, and then they decide, yes, it should be funded. So that's for the grant for startups, and we are quite open to any sector, so we do it in IT, machinery, really whatever, as long as it's really innovative. If you apply for a loan, as I said, that's also not bound to any sector, but the bank needs to be convinced to finance it. And that's nothing what we can influence, because we are just, let's say, a step behind. So there will be a normal negotiation with the bank to finance something, and then the commercial bank comes to us and refinance themselves with us in order to provide, let's say, more beneficial returns to the startup or to the final loan taker, so to speak. I don't really have any example of a company coming from India, I'm afraid.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We have one of our speakers really getting late to the train. So she has to go all the way to Cologne, back. Nuremberg, yes. So what I would like is the panel discussion will continue for some more time, but we'll take also questions. But before that, I would like Consulate General to please present a memento as a token of to our speaker.
I would like to answer. Please continue.
Sorry, I really want to interrupt this. very much, and thank you for having me here today. It was really interesting, and I'm looking forward to further meetings.
So, we have a question.
Can I would like to answer his question. Each country, they are having their own rules and regulations. You cannot see and you have to focus where, Hamburg or Germany, it's okay. But if the rules are in France, it is different, in Italy it is different. And moreover, if you want to invest in Germany, first there are few ministries are there, and Commerce Ministry, otherwise Justice Ministry, Employment Ministry and all that. They all are there to help you to invest money here. But as an Indian, it is not that easy to invest in Germany because the situation in here in Europe, it is last 10 years, it is very difficult. If you invest, it will come back. It is, if you are in a high-tech company, then it is okay. Normal business, import, export and all that, it is very, very difficult. You have to have a proper knowledge about it, and moreover you have to have a consultant about it. And first thing you have to provide a tax, what do you say, share right, you have to have it. Then only you can start it here. If you ask for the India, then you are coming direct from India, you don't have to answer for it. But this is a very careful, delicate thing in Germany to invest. It is, if you are a very rich man and you are providing so many shops and all that, worldwide or city-wise, it is okay. But if you want to invest a small money, Germany it is very hard. You have to be careful. Thank you.
Thank you. Please pass the mic back. We have a question from a colleague at the back.
Hi, thank you. I speak as an outsider over here because I've only recently arrived in Germany about a year ago. I'm a solicitor, qualified in England, and gained some experience in the UK, of course, and also subsequently in the UK, in Dubai as well as in Singapore. I think one of the recurring themes that I've noticed in the questions that have come from the floor is how easy or difficult it is for startups from India to invest in Germany. And I haven't had much experience over here in Germany. I've only looked at it from the outside. And looking at the German structure compared to how I've experienced, say, in Singapore, UAE, or in the UK. The reality is, the German structure that I've noticed is incredibly rigid, and it's incredibly adverse to startup investments that happens over here. Doesn't matter whether it's coming from India or any other country. And I just feel that I believe the appetite within the Indian investors, whether they are startups, whether they are medium-sized entities, whether they are big corporations, there is an appetite within the Indian market that they do want to go abroad. They are ambitious. They are very much looking beyond the borders of where they are based. I've seen that happen in Singapore, whether it's in the service industry, whether it's in the manufacturing industry or any other sector. They are looking beyond borders and they are very aggressively following their dreams. It's just a case of how the recipient industry, or recipient country, societies have been able to adapt to the possibility of receiving investment from these sources of, whether it's India, whether it's China, whether it's any other country. Now, I do understand that the structures that are there, the regulatory framework that apply in Germany are very much historic. They have a legacy issue, they have a necessity that caters to the domestic requirements, which is perfectly understandable. But I think it will be unhelpful to suggest that Germany is ready for investments to the extent that some of the other countries are abroad. I take the point that there is obviously a language barrier between Germany and India, but that can be easily overcome. People do learn languages, people do cut across the borders.
So, what's your question?
The question is whether, across the panel, whether they are aware that whether Germany is looking at creating a tax structure or whether a system or a mechanism whereby they are actively encouraging startups to come into it. For example, Germany created the KG funding system to encourage the shipping industry. This goes back 30, 35 years, 40 years, which was a novelty, and it has been taken up by many other countries. Whether the government is considering something to attract these kind of foreign investors or foreign startups to come and set up in Germany, whether that is there in the offering.
Okay. So, kind of a particular scheme also.
So basically your question is whether the German government is encouraging the investors to come here, or the Indian government to entice the investors in India, because it was echoing. Sorry.
The question is more from the German government, because they are creating a
German government creating a conducive environment for the Indian investors, right? Yeah. Actually, there are agencies, of course, Chamber, like Hamburg Invest, OAV, and there are also, of course, under the Economic Ministry. Also, there are they have such policies, even funding and handholding. That I know for sure. Even they are having a program where Indian CEOs, entrepreneurs, they bring them here and train them for one month or so. Here, different places. One agency here in Hamburg also training them. So there are a lot of schemes, of course. Which country doesn't want investors to come here? And despite the fact that Germany is one of the top economies, still they also want investors to come here. That I know for sure.
All right, so we take the next question from here.
My question is simple. I would like to set up a campus of my university in India. So as you see that the crowd is 90% or more is from India, and people always think I know better than what you as a panel can tell us. That's common. So my question is like, what is the setup and how can I go via the panel here, and how does it actually help me?
So what do you want to set up?
My university campus.
You want to set up a university campus in India.
And the costing, what I should be expecting, because...
No, it's not a question of you want to set up, you want to know the costs.
No. I would like to, I know what will be the cost of my setting up and how big the campus that we will be doing.
Okay.
What I'm asking is like going through the services, because the talk was very informative, and going through this setup or on my own, because I come from India and I would tend to go like, okay, why should I go on my own? Because I want to know what the advantage in why through that panel is very good, because that's all.
So the thing is, now you're a university. Just a question back to you. What form you are university? A private university?
We are a private university.
In Germany.
In Germany.
So you are that way, let's say.
I am a German entity.
Yes, in German entity you will be, let's say, you can be a part of the Consulate program. Now, where they will actually help you out. Exactly the same questions you will say. Like, first point I would say, maybe as we are talking about two ways, you need a person or an institution who knows the landscape, not the university landscape, locally. And
that's where, because we face this issue, this no problem issue.
yes.
You made the point, but you didn't go through that single point I was really looking at.
Yeah.
And that no problem, we always heard it from every states across India. So we want to really also make sure that it is no problem for us.
So good to hear from an Indian, and so nobody is offended. The thing now is that that's what we are talking about. If you're speaking about no problems, what's behind that no problem? So no problem that I understood you, or no problem is like I did not understand your problem, or what is the problem? So there are many situations what we are talking about. And so the thing is, if you're a German entity, of course you can be a part of the program. So we have been advising a few new universities have come, and who are actually actively having collaboration with local universities. As if you're a private university, of course we can aim at the private universities, and there are many programs under the Skill India program.
Okay.
And
So we have now a new university called Vishwakarma University in Bhutan. I don't know if you know of it. So
I have seen it.
Yes, so they are very active in this field, having cooperation with the German companies or let's say universities that way. So there is already quite a lot happening there, and I would say if you really want them, you can actually connect to the Make in India Mittelstand. And because then, being an Indian, coming from the Indian relation, you are a German entity for that matter, and they will help you support. First of all, you need to have the contacts, and if you have a university, then one important thing, you need land. Yeah. Yes. And this cannot work without the help of any state. And for the state, you need a major support, which the embassy and the consulate directly can provide. So this is the approach which I would suggest from my side. Yeah.
Yeah, actually having a campus in India, the university should be receptive. There are so many like Manipal, as she said, one university in Gurgaon, MET, and there are the private universities are more receptive because they want to take their name with some foreign university. So they really are very, very receptive. Only whether those terms and conditions will suit you or not, that you have to see. As far as the big Indian universities are concerned, like Delhi University or for that matter Mumbai or IITs, NITs, they are a little bit hard nut to crack because they don't want to dilute and they don't have a sort of not infrastructure they have, but the manpower to deal with international universities. But the private universities they will come beg and borrow to you even. So you have to see that it serves your purpose, for the purpose which you would like to go and have collaboration and joint venture with them.
Again, rephrasing my question, we already have lots of collaborations and lots of MOUs. We could offer dual programs and so on, but what my interest is to having our own campus, a German university campus. For example, Aachen University is having a campus in Muscat. So like that, I want to have my Deutsche University campus in India, not as a collaborative with somebody else.
So you don't want any joint venture, no collaboration?
We do have lots, and there is a lot of gestation period happening and so on. So what we are actually looking at is setting up our own campus.
Then you have to follow the the HRD Ministry the guidelines, because the Ministry of Human Resource Development, which the education comes under it, and they have certain guidelines for foreign universities to have a campus or establish a university with affiliation with foreign degree, and you have to go through those rules, regulations, and there are education consultants or the advocates who are ready to help you out. So I think then you should take an expert advice for that, because you want to go solo.
That's where I'm asking, is this panel is right for us, or I have to do all the research for?
If you have a specific quest, you can write to us. Okay. We can forward it to the concern, and then we can get you connected. Because we are not really expert on it, but we can get you connected. We are a medium to get you connected, and then you have to follow certain rule regulations on this. There are educational consultants, of course. There are like Simaji, there are advocates who can go through the rules and regulations, because you really want to have exclusive campus. So you are actually not going for joint venture, you are going beyond it.
Yeah, we are trying to establish.
Please do write to us.
Thank you.
So next question, please.
Okay. Well, I think we have to digress a bit from where we were. Make in India, I think it would also include development, things like services, software development as well. I'll give an instance. The financial sector, Germany, banks, insurances, they cannot write off their VAT, the 19%, that is the tax. And if it's a contract or a service contract which goes into a few millions, then the 19% makes a big difference. Now, if you have a German financial sector getting something done in India, you can sign a contract here, then you pay your 90%, and you are, well, a few million euros less. Or you sign the contract outside the European Union, where you're exempted from the 90%. And that has happened in quite a few cases. Now the point is, in that case, doesn't it automatically dispute the Indian legal system takes place? Or
is it possible, as you say, about the arbitration outside of the country? Is that a possibility? Because this is something which was not possible earlier. I've been dealing in software development and joint ventures for the last 50 years, or 25, long before making anything started, we were doing Make in India. So that's something, if it is possible now.
Yeah, it is possible. We have to agree on it. We have to agree on the trust of law you want to apply. And we have to agree on the dispute resolution mechanism we want to use. If that is arbitration, and if that arbitration can easily be outside of India, as I said, that would make it much easier to enforce an arbitration law as opposed to arbitration in India.
That's right.
And if you for arbitration, you are basically free in whatever law you want to apply. The German law, the English law, the Swiss law, or the Indian law, whatever you want.
I mean, if it's a contract in Germany and India,
yes.
That way, where could you suggest places could be, I mean, if not Germany, because that's something naturally the other side.
True, but I'd probably, it's fair to say that in most contracts you see, unless one party gets their own value, agree to the other party, particularly in Germany contracts, that was probably a very popular choice as a venue of arbitration. So that maybe many others have chosen London. Being a continental European lawyer, probably my preferences, if I have to move outside of Germany, are Zurich, Vienna, Stockholm, in that order. But just as in the Indian context, Singapore is probably the most frequent used.
I saw from Gloman's website that Hamburg City offers warehouse rental supports for Indian companies for the first 6 months. So how does that work?
Could you repeat the question?
See you. I saw from the website that Indian companies having an office in Hamburg are getting a first 6 month rental support from the Hamburg City. So how does that work?
Indian companies support?
Yeah, I think, well, it has to go through Hamburg Invest, and but I'm not sure that this program still exists. Do you know if this Mietunterstützungsprogram is still available? This rental program for foreign companies who get some grant from subsidy. No, it's stopped, right? Yeah. I think it was stopped 2 years ago or 1 year ago or something like that. But I think, in my personal view, it might not have been so important anyway, because it was just a small subsidy of, I think, something like 400 euros or something.
I can add something. We do have a very, very small scheme because the rent subsidy has not carried on. If we are doing something very innovative, some new technologies, then you can apply for a very small scheme that we provide.
My question is I have a question regarding the start of the first about trade and export.
So my name is Chetan Chantapa. I was born in Bangalore. Currently working in the automotive industry in Munich. So my question is regarding the startup for automotive parts for the import and export between Bangalore and Munich. So my question is for you, like, will there be any advantage over the taxes if the main head office is in Bangalore or the main head office is in Munich? So if my main branch is here and the main head office is here and the branch office is in Bangalore, because I saw in your presentation it says 42.3% of taxes on.
Yes.
So how this work, or will there be any chances we could have some main office there and cut some taxes?
It's not about the office. Don't confuse two entities. We are talking about if you have a private limited, GmbH, or you have a branch office, or let's say project. Yeah. So these are two different things. So having said that, what also Iris Winkler earlier mentioned was, let's say said, make a difference between when you are actually financing your company. So these are two ways. Taxation parts, one is local. It will depend on which kind of entity what kind of entity you have, whether it's a branch office or GmbH or UA or whatever which form it is, it will be accordingly tested locally. And whenever the money is moving between two countries, then it will test accordingly. So first you have to be clear what you are moving ahead, and then let's say you will decide how to get it. And that's why we come to next level, which is about very famous is doing the duty shopping. Let's say if you are based in Singapore, you have a holding there. If in India and Singapore, you have a very nice treaty, or let's say most of the things are happening between Mauritius and India or Cyprus. So if you are that big, then of course then you can have a nice interesting holding structures. You can hold TVC or us for any of the structuring, and of course then it's really interesting to save money.
Yeah, I think like this would be best understood when we start like a pilot project and try to do and figure it out ourselves.
Yes.
So another next question would be like what would be the advantage of having the GmbH over the EK here in Germany? Will it be having some recognition inside the German market if you have a GmbH?
Yeah, of course, recognition was you have to pay all taxes, it doesn't register. I think you can better tell about the German law. So it's the same compliances which you have to follow.
Yeah, and I think that really the question which is the best company for us is very specific. It needs to be delicate, very individual in your case. But not the right question for that discussion.
I think we are just overshooting the time. So during the interaction, you can just start to do keynote speaker among ourselves. We have two small presentation and water tanks, so I think we can go through that. And then we are here. You can always pose questions to us. Back to you, if you have any questions to the panelists.
Thank you very much. I mean, for very active participation, a lot of questions and good interaction, I must say. I would like to now request the Consulate General to give away the mementos for the speakers, and then we...
Before we just finish this, you can just say something so we can just discuss after that. Okay? So, Mr. Gulshan Dingra, our Vice Consul Commerce, so he is the one who is in charge of the commerce and economic subject here. New gentleman, just joined, and so back to you, Mr. Dingra.
Hi, good evening to all of you. Respected Consul General Sir, distinguished speakers, and guests and my colleagues. It's indeed my pleasure to present the vote of thanks on the occasion of the States of India conference, which is just I'm going to conclude in this beautiful premises of our consulate. I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to all the speakers present here, namely Ms. Sibyl Scherer, Dr. Philip Brandon, Ms. Iris Winkler, though she has left, Mr. Gopi V. Prasad, and Ms. Seema Bharadwaj. And our special thanks to Mr. Gopi Prasad for all his help and cooperation in making this event possible. And at this moment, I would like to extend my thankfulness to our Consul General, Mr. Rega sir, for his persistent guidance and wholehearted support for making this conference happen the way it did. And my deep sense of appreciation to all my colleagues in the consulate for their sincere and dedicated work. And let me put on records their names specifically: Mr. T. Ramesh, Mr. Vijay, who has been taking care of our display and projector, Mr. Parminder and Mr. Rajat behind the camera, and Ms. Seema just close to the buffet table. And without their efforts, this would not have been possible to organize the event. And before I wind up, let me also inform you that the consulate, in association with Engineering Export Promotion Council and Department of Heavy Industries and Industry of India Berlin, is organizing India Investment Meet, which is about business and collaboration opportunities in India It's happening on 3rd April 2019 at Hanover Messe. And the timings of the meeting will be from 12:30 to 1400 hours. So kindly make it convenient to attend the meeting. And since it requires registration to attend the meeting, so you can drop an email for getting your registration done, or you can meet my colleague Mr. Parminder, who is over there, and he would help you regarding that to have your name registered. And last but not the least, I think CDC would like to distribute the notices. And after the mementos are over, I would request all of you to join together to taste the Indian snacks over the buffet table. And thank you all once again. Thank you.